Just imagine, beneath the glittering lights of Dubai, in the heart of the desert, a project was being built that left the entire world stunned. A project that tore through the depths of the earth and pushed human courage to an entirely new level. On a night in 2017, engineers in Dubai stood before a machine that had drilled more than 150 feet deep into the ground. Suddenly, alarms began to blare. From the shaft dug into the earth, water gushed out like a boiling spring. They all knew that if this problem wasn't brought under control in just a few minutes, the entire project would remain nothing more than a dream. But this was only the beginning. What happened next was no less than the plot of a movie. Dubai was about to give the world the deepest diving pool ever built. But at every step, death, destruction, and failure stood in their way. At one point, the fear grew so real that it seemed the entire pool could shoot out of the ground with its foundations. This is the story of Dubai's determination, resilience, and an engineering miracle that made history. You are watching The Last Breath, the channel where reality feels more astonishing than fiction. Dubai, once a quiet little fishing village, but today a city of skyscrapers, artificial islands, and world records. The rulers here have always wanted projects that shock the world. The Crown Prince of Dubai, Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, also had such a dream. The world's deepest diving pool. A pool where you wouldn't just dive, but feel as if you had entered an entirely new world. The first question was, how would this pool look? The decision was made to design it in the shape of a seashell. Dubai's original heritage was pearl diving, when divers would plunge into the sea without oxygen tanks and retrieve pearls from oysters. That legacy, combined with modern engineering, gave birth to the idea of Deep Dive Dubai. But the distance between a dream and reality was long and filled with challenges. The pool wasn't to be built above the ground, but inside it, which meant digging a shaft more than 60 meters deep. This excavation turned into a nightmare. Engineers constructed diaphragm walls around the shaft so that the soil wouldn't collapse inward. The pit was 147 feet deep and 65 feet wide, resembling a massive grave. For 2 months, steel cages and concrete were poured to hold the walls in place, and then the real digging began. But after just 8 meters, water began to gush in from the ground. Pumps had to run continuously so that the entire pit wouldn't turn into a lake. For the next 2 years, this battle went on. Excavation continued, and so did the pumping of water. During this time, 45,000 tons of soil and rock were removed, but the water refused to stop. The project was already delayed when another shock came. In Warsaw, Poland, a diving pool called Deep Spot had opened with a depth of 45 meters. For Dubai's team, this news was nothing short of an explosion. They knew that if Dubai wanted the world record, their pool had to be even deeper. When Sheikh Hamdan heard the news, his order was clear. Make it deeper. We must remain ahead of the world. But increasing the depth meant inviting a whole new danger. Because the underground water pressure, the buoyancy force, could push the entire pool upward. Just like a plastic bottle floats when placed in water, the same force could make the pool's foundation lift out of the ground. If the depth reached 60 meters, the pressure would grow so extreme that the entire structure could literally pop out with its base. For the engineers, this was the biggest test. After months of calculations and endless research, a solution was finally found. It was decided that an additional 15 meters would be excavated, but with a diameter nearly half of the original shaft, to reduce the buoyancy force. At the same time, anchors were installed under the foundation, just like an anchor keeps a ship steady in the sea. This technique, known as under-reaming, locked the entire pool firmly into the ground. In this way, Dubai's engineers made the impossible possible. Now the biggest task remained, filling it with 14 million liters of water. Dubai's water supply was limited. If they had relied only on that, it would have taken 3 months to fill. But deadlines had to be met, so over 100 water tankers ran day and night. At last, the task was completed in just 1 month. Before the water was filled, An entire underwater city theme was created inside. A world where buildings, cars, trees, and shops all appeared sunken. Divers would feel as though they were swimming through a lost city. But another issue was how to keep so much water clean. For this, with NASA's help, a special filtration system was developed that purifies all 14 million liters every 6 hours. Whether outside, it's 120 degrees Fahrenheit or 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The pool's water always remains steady at 86 degrees Fahrenheit to provide divers the perfect environment. But even after all this was completed, the challenges didn't end. Some materials began to rust, while some objects floated to the surface. Engineers drilled holes and added weight to them so they would settle. After months of relentless effort, in 2021, Deep Dive Dubai was open to special guests, and in 2022, it was open to the public. Even today, the question remains, how much did this project really cost? The Dubai government has never revealed the number. For them, it's worth far more than money, because this is not just a pool, but a symbol of Dubai's ambition and human engineering genius. This story teaches us that dreams are never easy. But when dreamers are stubborn enough, they can turn desert sand into oceans. Dubai gave the world another miracle, Deep Dive Dubai, a miracle not just of concrete and water, but of courage and obsession. If you enjoyed this story, like the video, subscribe to The Last Breath, and tell us in the comments, would you ever dare to dive into the world's deepest pool? See you in the next astonishing story.